Now, there's a lot of in fact, not a lot, about every segment of our society is corrupted by money to some point. None more than politics. Now, for example, let me give you a prime example. There's been two periods in the United States where money has really corrupted politics. One was in the late 1900s, the late 1800s, like 1880s, 1890s, where the railroad barons and the shipping barons were just taking over the country. They were using their money and their wealth and their influence to basically create a country in their own image, and they were just running roughshod through the country, just like, abusing power and, corrupting through money. Teddy Roosevelt come along, about that time, excuse me, and he broke up all those monopolies. He broke up all the big shipping monopolies, all the big, railroad monopolies, because he understood it was a danger, to our country to have power consolidated in such a small group. And then more recently here, like in modern era, like today, we have seen the influence that billionaires have on our elections in terms that there's people that have billions of dollars, billionaires out there that spend hundreds of millions of dollars, influencing elections, putting politicians, propping up politicians, paying for politicians' campaigns in return for favors. They want government contracts. They're going to put hundreds of millions of dollars into helping somebody become a congressman or senator. They want these government contracts. They want legislation passed that will, benefit them financially. Corruption. It's like money corrupts everything. And we've seen a tremendous amount of politicians recently that have literally had their backbones removed by billionaires, so they can remain in power and have whatever political office they have. That's the dark side of money, is what we're talking about, and it's undeniable. It doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum that you're on. It's not right. It's not right for one person to be able to influence our society so much just because they've got some money, versus somebody that doesn't have any money, that just has one vote. So that's something that we're dealing with right now, and we've always, it's not just now, we've always had some degree of that in our country, because like I said, you can't ever underestimate the power of greed and the darkness that money brings to some people. Now, one of the most wisest dudes that I have ever met in my life, he was an Indian. He called himself an Indian shaman, but he was sort of like a dude that lived the old Indian ways. And he was saying,